Montana Public Health. Recording in progress. Got it. I'm going to click that. Yeah, so anyway, I am a counselor with the Montana Public Health Training Center under the Wellness Program. And so I have a lot of different roles. I provide one-on-one subclinical counseling. I travel around the state and give presentations to just all Montana public health employees that want to order our services. Will come in and do sound therapy and a little bit of art processing and group work, whatever people need. We have a whole menu of things people can choose. And then, yeah, we are just here to really serve the Montana public health employees and provide services for all that secondary trauma you guys are taking on. And this is one of those things. Today, we're going to focus in on gratitude. And this is the final class of a series that we started back in October. And we're gonna do it again next year. And so it looks like we might be moving to Wednesdays around noon. But we'll send you an email and let you know what the new format is and everything. But Desiree, let's go ahead and load the presentation. Mm-hmm. All right. Looks great. Let's see. Okay, everyone seeing this okay? Awesome. Yay. All right. Well, today we're going to start with appreciation and gratitude. And let's just go ahead and go to the next slide so we can get into all the things. Okay, here we go. All right, so today we're going to be focusing in on gratitude for a little mindfulness. So with each class, I like to bring in a tool or a skill that you can use in your back pocket to just, find ways to connect back in and find a little time for yourself that's, a little bit softer throughout your day. And mindfulness is just one of those ways that you can relax in and shift into a new awareness. So we're going to do that first. And then I'm going to move into the science of like what's happening with our brain when we tap into gratitude and appreciation and how that links in with emotions. Also, we're going to go through some gratitude practices. And I imagine there's a lot of people that have practices that really work for them. And so I just love hearing from all of you because there's a lot of wisdom in the room. And then at the end, yeah, we're just going to go through all the benefits that really comes from this. So let's go to the next slide, Desiree. Okay, so this is mindfulness. So if there's anyone that has their sound on, go ahead and mute yourself. And this is going to be a wellness video that is actually going to be available and you can tune into it anytime. This is a mindfulness video. So let's go ahead and roll this, Desiree. Go ahead and push play.
Hold on. I think I have to do this. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Still sharing. Is that
You're
working?
doing great.
Hello and welcome.
Just open it.
I'm a counselor with the Montana Public Health Training Center under the Wellness Program. And today I'd love to invite you to do some mindfulness with me. Today's mindfulness is focused on gratitude. Mindfulness is just one tool we counselors use with our clients to help ease pain, stress, anxiety, or simply to become more relaxed. You may notice that your mind may wander, and this is perfectly normal. You can always just focus back in on my voice or focus back in on your breathing.
Desiree, I think we should both mute for it to be better sound. You know, Desiree, I don't think this is loading all the way, so maybe I'll just lead it live in session. And so you can end it and I'll just take over. I think the video isn't loading all the way.
It's working on this end, so
Okay, on my end, there's no
working.
sound
maybe because
and
I'm
it's not playing.
Right. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
no worries. Okay. All right. Well, everyone just take a moment and we're just gonna close our eyes. And if it feels good, you can also hold a soft gaze. And we're just gonna do a quick 3-minute mindfulness piece on gratitude. So go ahead and take a deep breath in. And if it feels good, breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And as you settle in, just noticing your body and the chair, allowing yourself to kind of sink into the chair and allow yourself to be held in the place that you are. And as you relax into the space that you are, allowing your head to just sink into your shoulders allowing your arms to hang heavy, allowing your torso to sink into your sit bones, into the chair, and allowing your legs to feel heavy, and moving all the way down to the bottoms of your feet, just allowing the floor to meet your feet. Feel the floor pressing back up so you feel grounded, feeling secure, feeling held. And I want you to just activate your imagination and focus inward. Focus in the heart area of your chest. And as you focus inward, go ahead and activate a light within your chest. And within this light are all the things that you notice that you're grateful for. And as you focus inward, just allowing yourself to have images come to you, things that you delight in, things that make you smile, noticing the things that move throughout your day. They may be really small and little. They may be a person that you know you can rely on. They may be your animal that you may have and how they love you so much and you love them. You may notice even items that you have that you're grateful for. And they could be as small and little as a cup of coffee in the morning, noticing Christmas lights as you're driving home from work, noticing the changes of seasons. And even when it's cloudy, knowing that the sun is above those clouds, you can just relax in the knowledge that the sun is always there, radiating warmth and softness. And so in your mind, come to mind just 3 more things that feel good, that you're really noticing a lot of appreciation for. As you're thinking about those things, notice where the feeling of gratitude is in your body. It may be in your head, it may be in your chest, it may be in your guts or in your hands. Wherever that feeling may be, go ahead and anchor into it. And just send that feeling of gratitude back to those things that you appreciate with an open heart, softness. And take one more deep breath. And we're going to go move back into the space that we are. So just go ahead and allow yourself to open your eyes, maybe stretch. And let's come back into the space. All right. Okay, well, we just did that on the fly because technology sometimes is funny. So I'm just noticing what do people notice? And you can go ahead and put it in the chat. But it's also great to just hear your words or descriptions about what you noticed about that. Mhm. Okay, I'm not seeing any on my end, any chat. So let's go ahead and move on for time to the next screen. All right, so let's get into gratitude. Well, gosh, I bet everyone here knows what gratitude is, but just thought I'd add in the dictionary definition. Uh, the dictionary really defines gratitude as the quality of being thankful, readiness to show appreciation, and for the return of kindness. I'm just going to note that Kim said that the mindfulness made her relax. And so thanks for sharing that. Sometimes mindfulness makes us feel a little bit like, I'm not doing this right. And I don't know about this. And that's normal too. So I just want to like acknowledge if anyone was like not too sure about that and not feeling relaxed, maybe feeling more anxious, that's part of the process too, mindfulness. All right. So let's go to the next slide. All right. I want to go into a little bit about the research that goes into gratitude. Gratitude has become pretty hot in the field of research for mental wellness. Um, and it turns out that at the end of the Great Depression, scientists at Harvard University, they started tracking the health of like 700 individuals. And this was a combination of students and teen boys from Boston. And the goal was just to simply find out what helped people feel happy and healthy. And 85 years later, the study is still the world's longest study of adult life on human happiness. And they really found that after collecting not only just data, but also DNA samples and brain scans that included like also 1,300 of their offspring from the original subjects, they found that over 9 decades, 3 generations, that the one key finding was gratitude with close relationships, not really wealth or fame or even IQ, but the secret ingredient to happiness was connection. And with that is a subcategory of gratitude. And I just wanted to bring up some other article. If you want to click on that, you can check out other articles. There's so much data out there about how gratitude is really impacting wellness. All right, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so within the research realm, gratitude, we all know that it makes us feel good, but it's cool to know that it's a dominant like brain hack. It works. It changes your neurochemistry, and it also boosts all those transmitters that strengthen those pathways of feeling good. And so it helps us really overcome our hardwired bias. All right, we have a negative bias. It's just easier to fall into. And so knowing that, gosh, behavior changes your biology. This is more than just a trendy fad. It's not a secret that among scientists that you can change your neurochemistry by releasing mood boosting transmitters. And scientists are really studying the psychological well-being that are also found among nurses, and finding out that practicing gratitude throughout their day really resulted in less fatigue. It helped them have fewer sick days, and also just that greater job satisfaction. And yeah, it's helpful to know that you get to choose how you feel every day. And if you tap into gratitude in the morning, it can really help you navigate all the tough stuff for the rest of your day. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the next slide. So, I just mentioned that behavior changes biology. So positive gestures that benefit you, it releases oxytocin. This is a hormone that helps you connect with people. And some people even call it the love hormone. but we know that our brains are practical. And so what you think about during your day, your brain thinks it's active in the moment. And so if you have a thought that's in the past and maybe it doesn't feel good, or maybe if you're worrying about the future, that notice that what emotion that is being activated with that. And so if you have an issue with like something that's in the future and you're activating worry, your brain thinks it's happening, right in this present moment. And so notice what are the emotions that you are tapping into throughout your day. What are you thinking about and what are the patterns? And so if any thought that you think leads to emotion, think about what's a thought that leads to the emotion of feeling grateful. And also, where is it in my body? This cycle is how we create behavior throughout our day. And so this is just a slide I wanted to bring up, and how our thoughts are really powerful and they are connected to our emotions. And your brain, whatever emotion you're feeling, your brain thinks it's in the now. So even if it's something about something 20 years ago, your brain thinks it's happening right now. And so just notice, what am I thinking about each day? All right, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so since thoughts lead to emotions, it's cool to note that gratitude is actually an emotion. And if I know this is probably hard to see all these little words, this is a classic emotional wheel. And if you look at happy, gratitude falls underneath that. And so, yeah, notice about what you think about and what are thoughts that lead to feeling grateful. And I just want to kind of open it up for a minute and just see and hear what are thoughts that activate that feeling for folks in the room. And so you can just shout it out. It's okay. Go ahead and allow yourself to unmute and say it, because it's so great to always hear your voices. Or go ahead and throw it in the chat. What are things that you activate throughout your day that, they might even be little and small? Like, I am in love with my pillow. I love my pillow. Like, when I think about my pillow, I just love it so much. I can't wait to lay on it. I love waking up on it. I'm a little bit premenopausal, so I love that cooling gel it has in it for those nights that I wake up feeling hot. And so when I think about my pillow, I can really tap into some deep appreciation for sleep, because I love sleep. So what are other things that people notice are things that they're feeling grateful for?
Now I want to know what pillow you have.
It's just at Costco. Okay.
I do yoga every day and the treadmill, and that's something that most of the time I look forward to. I know I feel better after.
Oh, nice. Yeah, the treadmill. And gosh, Lonnie, that's such a great brain hack too, because you're accessing some of those other feelings, or the serotonin release in your body. Okay, what else are people grateful for that they're noticing that they're activating daily?
I think for me, my daughter, who's 16, she got a kitten for her birthday, and we haven't had a kitten in the house forever. And watching the antics of that kitten every morning terrorizing our house is hilariously funny to me, and it just really activates my like appreciation for like that youthful, fun, just loving cat.
Thanks, Lisa. Oh my gosh, cats are so weird and hilarious. Like cat videos too on demand. Um, that's another great way. If you don't have a cat, you can always watch it online. Thanks, Lisa. What else? What are some other things that people notice? Cooking with partners, sharing meals. Thanks, Sarah. Yeah, and that's activating that connection piece. All right. Well, I appreciate folks sharing. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide, Desiree. Oh, hugs from my daughter, hot coffee, cold winter air. So good. Okay. Well, let's just move into some practical ideas about gratitude exercises that work. There's a lot of different things that we can tap into for gratitude and a lot of different like ways of trying. It's true that, you know, most people experience gratitude. And so, but most of us don't intentionally create time to and space to actually express it. There's research now that shows that focusing intentionally on the emotion at the beginning of the day tend to have their emotional wellness and their cup full for something. If something hard happens throughout the day, people take less of a hit of that because they've already been firing different thought patterns within the brain in the morning. And so they can just shift a little bit more easily because they've already been feeling into the feelings of gratitude. And so that connection in their brain is ready to go. And so whenever you think a thought, it creates a synapsis. And if you kind of focus in on that thought for more than like 30 seconds, a like-minded thought will attach to it and another one will attach to it. So just notice, you know, what are you thinking about in the morning? And then that will kind of correct your how you feel throughout your day. And if something hard happens, you know, you might have less of a reaction, you might feel less triggered. So some of these practices here, you'll notice they really encompass a little bit of contemplation. Some of them are part writing. And some of them just help us overcome our hardwired negative bias. And that's just something we all have, and it's something that we're striving for to get better. And so just notice what are some of these exercises that people like and that already do? What are people noticing with this slide? Okay, Julia says, not difficult things to do. Thanks for sharing, Julia. Yeah, it's true. These aren't too tough. This isn't chemistry, right? What else do people notice? Todd says it's hard to remember to be thankful verbally to loved ones. So true. Yeah, we're just so busy. Giving thanks before meals, that's a pretty common one. Thinking about where your food came from, mindfully eating, noticing every texture, every bite that you're eating. Even if you just do it for one bite, it can really zone you into your present of, yeah, savoring. Ooh, savoring the morning. Thanks, Cynthia. Savoring is something we're going to get into here as a skill in just a minute. That's getting a lot of cool research and buzz within mental wellness. Okay. James Coulter Lake says, starting the morning off right makes a big difference in my day. Oh, it's so great to hear from everyone. Thanks for sharing. All right. Lisa says, great reminders for all the great things we've surrounded ourselves and reminding us to set time aside. Yeah, and as we move into the holidays, it gets pretty hectic, and the feeling of overwhelm can really overtake the holidays. And so there is this other idea of bracketing time for yourself to do these things. It's just like scheduling anything else. You know, you got your schedule throughout the day. You can set aside 5 minutes for some sort of attitude towards gratitude or shift. And it can really help. And even if it's just like a little bit of a ring on a ladder that you're moving over on, it can help you feel good throughout your day. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Thanks, Desiree. Okay. So we're still kind of on practices, and I wanted to move into savoring. So savoring is getting a lot of buzz right now and some research too. It's this really cool practice of noticing and appreciating the positive aspects of life. So, you know, it's kind of the positive counterpoint to coping. So think of it that way. It's on the other end of the stick of coping. Savoring is more than just pleasure. It also involves some mindfulness, which is cool. So it's a conscious attention to the experience of pleasure. The benefits of savoring, like different experiences, and you can see I have a couple images up. Sometimes they're locked away and they're kind of back there. So being able to recall or evoke an emotion and a feeling in that you've previously experienced. Like I said before, when you think of something in the past and you bring it forward into the now, your brain thinks it's happening. It's very practical, our brains. And so it will bring that feeling back. And some of us may notice that, wow, I can really even tap back into the sights and the sounds. You might be able to still feel the taste of something like from a special meal. You still might be able to smell whatever the freshness was of, like, maybe if you're at the ocean or, a fresh snow before skiing. And the main thing that we notice with this research of savoring in the past is clicking back into the feeling. And so we can savor the experience and kind of like save the whole, you can just feel the benefits of savoring for another time. You're saving it for another time. And so there's psychologists too that are identifying a lot of practices to give the psychological boost that will expand the positive emotions. This is a sense of connection with ourselves, but also with others. And so think about the idea of anticipatory. That's thinking ahead about an upcoming event, and beginning to imagine the people you see, beginning to think about what the place will be like, kind of like building excitement, and also positive feelings about something that's upcoming. But kids do this with Christmas every year. Like, they are really stoked for Christmas. So they can really move into that Christmas spirit a lot easier than us in some regards because they're anticipating it, the feeling of it. And so we can also do savoring for the future. And, what do you got coming up? Think about this year. What's upcoming that you can start kind of like activating some expectation of goodness. And notice if you tend to activate a feeling of worry or not. And so think about, if you move into worry, how you can kind of shift that over just like a couple pegs towards something that feels a little softer. Because we often do that. We start to worry about, oh, will my flights connect? And oh gosh, I hope the weather's okay, and start moving into that. And maybe that'll happen. Maybe it won't work out in that way. But if you're anticipating worry and anxiety before you're there, you're basically feeling that in the present moment. And so why feel that when you can feel good? You don't know what's going to happen in the future with this thing. So it tends to help your psyche to just feel a little better instead of activating worry. Also, you'll notice in the moment. So, oh, I got to just take a quick sip real quick. In the moment, stepping back from what's happening right in front of you, that can be helpful for you. Like if you're having a family dinner, even if you're in line at the grocery store, or like I said earlier, feeling that crisp, cold air on your face and letting your body feel what's going on around you. I have a little cold, so give me one sec to try to move this through. Okay. All right, it's feeling a little better. Okay, and then reminiscent savoring is really about going back to a positive place in the past and just letting your mind trace over the moment and the experience that you enjoyed. And so, yeah, let's hear from people. What do people notice about this? Like, I would love to hear, like, what are some things people are anticipating that they're starting to, like, feel a little gratitude in, or even what is in the past?
I'll share. So I'm getting excited for a change in job with actually the state of Montana. So I'm anticipating, you know, all of the joy that I'm looking forward to into that.
Yeah. Thanks so much for getting us started, Nicole. So yeah, you got this like big change coming up. And notice that you're not moving into like the worry or the fretting as much. It sounds like you're really stoked. I can really like feel it from you as you share about it. Nice. Oh, that's great. Good luck with that. What else? Oh, Pam says anticipating a trip with my son to the eclipse. Oh, cool. That sounds awesome. 2024. What else are people noticing that they're getting excited about? What's coming up for you? Krista says, I'm trying to soak in Christmas with with my grandparents who are in their 90s. Oh, totally. And doesn't that just bring that immediate when we have our loved ones in their 90s? I have a grandma too that's 95, and I just can't believe I still have a grandma. No, none of my other friends my age really have one. So I'm just so grateful for that too, and like being able to spend time with her and feel into that. All right. Yeah, so this is a savoring's like a pretty sweet practice for moving into the present moment. And there's other things we can do with savoring that really help us move into like the here and now. And yeah, let's go ahead and go to the next slide. Um, so, what are 5 things that people notice that they can savor? The benefits of this are really close to like not only improving your mood, but also just like that feeling of satisfaction. And when you increase the feelings of like gratitude and appreciation, it can also help you remember things. This is another brain hack in memory that when you really notice your 5 senses in an event, then your memory is like that pathway is even solidified a little bit more. And the intense presence of the attention, I mean, it really helps you capture those details and it helps create a memory map within your mind that you can access later. So this idea of savoring, it's a practice that kind of opens up, also the feeling of calm. It can move into a powerful antidote for just challenges that has maybe left us feeling more of if you're in an emergency mode all the time, that gives you a little bit of bandwidth to be in the present. Because usually when people are feeling that hyper arousal or like constantly feeling stressed, it's really hard to be in the present moment and connect with others because your nervous system has kind of been taken over by these feelings. And so you tend to miss all the good things because you have this other way of thinking that's not feeling good. And so yeah, with that bandwidth, savoring kind of just helps you move more into like that emotional, life is good. Life is good for us, and it's creating good, and it's making us more available. It's helping us feel more responsive. It's helping us feel more empathetic towards each other and have more compassion. And this is science now. We know that this isn't just, woo-woo stuff. People are doing a lot of research on this and finding the efficacy and finding actually the parts of the brain that are holding that feeling. And it just can help us feel good throughout our day. Okay. So in looking at this slide too, here's just some more savoring practices throughout the day. Some people already do like the idea of a daily favorite, like coming together with each other at dinner and just being like, hey, what'd you notice today? What was good about your day? And I remember when I was a middle school teacher, when I'd go on field trips with the kids, we would do often like a rosebud thorn afterwards. And the thorn is always really easy for people to move into, like what didn't go well. And that's okay. It's okay to notice that too. But the rose is also, just a little bit more of an effort. It's sort of like finding another gear in your thinking to find what was good in the day or what was good about the experience. How many people have like noticed that their phone will send them images to them of something that was kind of fun or whatever? Yeah. So letting your phone surprise you and just like come up, or even if you come up with an album of your favorite like memories, that is a visual cue that activates another part of our brain that'll help you bring you back into that moment. And that's okay to set that up. And moving into like achievements, this is something I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit because some people really think that acknowledging or sharing an achievement is, boasting. And, it's a term that has a lot of negative connotation of like noticing an achievement. It has a lot of strong associations. And I just wanted to bring it forward that it's okay to share your achievement with yourself, like internally over and over again. Like, oh my gosh, I did that. Like, this last weekend I went skiing and I went up a jump and I was so scared and I just did it and I did it. And even though I wrecked, I did it again. And so noticing for yourself that you might have done something that was kind of scary and you felt vulnerable, but you did it. Noticing like what are the past achievements that you've moved through and you've become like more courageous or activating that feeling of brave. There's also the little moments, just noticing the daily things that you can tune into with a little bit more intention. And so, we've been mentioning these and people have been writing them in the chat, and I love hearing more about those. But noticing like when things are good, savor in that joy. And when it's, even if it's something bad that happens throughout your day, noticing that you could savor into the resilience of something you just got through. Let's say there was something with like your boss or a friend, or just like driving in traffic that you got through that moment. And how did you maybe get through that moment with a little bit more grace? Noticing the resilience and kind of savoring into that you got through that hard thing. And that's such a great skill to teach kids, or even to ask that question if they're telling you about something tough. Like, yeah, look at you, you got through that. Like, ask them how they feel about that piece of resilience, because resilience we're finding too, for mental wellness is a key ingredient in moving into this next century. And notice even like when it's boring, like just noticing, and savoring into the quiet. When things feel crazy and insane, shifting into like savoring the laughter around you, or just the joy, or even, for some of those that aren't used to little kids at Christmas time, they are energy. I mean, they are stoked. They like Santa. Oh my gosh, presents, sugar candy, Christmas cookies. That, it can feel a little crazy. And so savoring into like all the laughter and joy and like noticing where they're at is something to move into a savoring. Sometimes too, like savoring into like if you complete something, savoring into like the reward of you just got through that. Oh my gosh, you completed your taxes. Woo! That feels good. Or, you finish that presentation that's coming up. Or maybe even if you just do a little bit each day on the presentation, noticing that, well, I did that, I marked that off the list and it may not be done yet, but I'm still like, there's a little bit of reward that you did a little bit each day. And that's the same with exercise as well. All right. So yeah, you kind of get the idea that, when you're alone, you can, if you're starting to feel lonely, how can you shift into feeling like savoring the space of where you are in that moment? This is a cool antidote. So let's go ahead and go to the next slide, Desiree. All right. So we kind of know this, right? We know that there are benefits to appreciation, and we know that it's contagious. It's so cool. Like if someone really comes to you with a high amount of gratitude to you, oh, it feels so good. People tend to just give it right back. It's contagious. Even or if you notice someone being grateful to someone else, sometimes it's just like kind of inspiring that it's like, oh, I want to go home and give my partner that level of praise or love or appreciation. Gratitude is just like one of those things. It's contagious, and when it's offered in a real sense, with the like emotions that are connected with it, it can boost just that level of happiness within a relationship that's just more positive energy, not only from the giver, but to the receiver as well. And it just kind of prompts you to like do more, to kind of do good deeds. That's why that pay it forward, like it really works because people are connecting into that wider circle. We know that it improves well-being too. I mean, it's kind of been the theme of this morning, but that conveying gratitude can really give you such a boost. That feeling of gratitude, it helps people feel more like open-minded and friendly, a little bit calmer. And folks that do this on a regular basis, do you ever notice, wow, that person's just, they're a little easier to get along with. They're not activating so much resistance in their body or in their system or in the way that they move through the day or even in the room. That positive outlook, those folks are nice to be around. They can kind of like they can shift the space in the room and help, kind of alleviate a little bit more negativity, um, and kind of boost everyone around them. So in strengthening relationships too, those that express a lot of gratitude, they're prone to less negative behavior in the sense that they tend to move a little bit more easily into forgiveness. They tend to move a little bit more easily into acceptance of others. And, this really improves that feeling of empathy, that brings down the feeling of aggression. So it's really a proven technique to just raise that feeling of satisfaction and improve relationships. So gratitude, it's just one of those things it's a mood enhancer. It's really proven to help us too with our sleep patterns. I love seeing the research on sleep with gratitude and just how it increases happiness because you're reducing stress and anxiety throughout your day. And then when you're able to sleep, it's not being reactivated because during your day, you're softening things. We tend to wake up with stress in the middle of the night. And so that gratitude piece can really help people sleep a lot better. And it's just nice to know that there is a physical and mental tool that you can do throughout your day to help you feel better. And it really benefits you and it benefits other people around you. Okay. I imagine people have other things that they could share about the benefits with this. Let's just open it up. Let's go to the next slide, Desiree. And I love opening up at the end of our time to see what our takeaways with people. But first, I just want to touch into some of the things we went over today. I did a little bit of gratitude mindfulness and just that feeling of tapping into what can you feel good about. Went into some of the benefits, and I'm hoping to hear from you in just a minute about what are some benefits that people notice for themselves. Tapped into like the feeling of like, wow, gratitude, it's an emotion, and noticing that emotions are connected to thinking. And so what you think about, it is a direct invisible string to an emotion that's in your body. And so taking a moment to like find that feeling in your system and just like anchor into it, like where's gratitude? Where do I feel it in my body? And I'm taking that extra step to root into it. Got to go over some of the science, noticing that your thoughts, when you think a thought for a little longer than like 20 seconds, a like-minded synapses is going to attach, and then another one's going to attach. And so it's the same if you're thinking thoughts that are on more of a negative bias, you're going to tend to think that thought more quickly. And we all have neural pathways that some of them are kind of deep. They're like a train that has grooves it's just easy to fall into those. And so notice, I kind of moving more into negativity lately in my thoughts about a person or a thing or an idea or a concept. And how does that make you feel? It's basically like someone taking up space in your brain for free, in the sense of not feeling good. And so how do you want to feel? How do you want to feel? And then start making the conscious effort to move into thoughts that feel better, so that when you think of, so it's more automatic. You're creating brain pathways within your thoughts that you can fall into feeling just a little bit softer throughout your day. And this just takes time. This just takes a little effort. This takes a conscious awareness. And sometimes, it's helpful to just schedule it in your day to get that in. And then we just went over some gratitude practices, and I'd really love to hear from other people what those are. So Desiree, let's go ahead and click to this last slide, because I'd love to hear from the group just what people notice. And just also, maybe we can even turn off the slide share so we can kind of open it up and people can open their up their faces, and so we can see everyone. Let's get some connection going as we move into the rest of our day. All right. So thanks, Nicole, for letting us see who you are. And anyone else? All right, Julia, appreciate you. All right, let's hear from people. What did people notice today from this training on gratitude? And what's a takeaway that you can take with you? And I'm a former teacher, so I can sit in silence a really long time, also being a counselor. So go ahead and unmute and just like blurt it out. It's all right.
Well, I'll get it going.
Thanks, Nicole.
So something that I try to do in the morning, before even getting out of bed, is just really like setting my intentions for the day and really thinking about, what I want to accomplish, taking deep breaths, remembering to smile. And then also like just forgiving yourself for mistakes that possibly were from the day before, so you can kind of start fresh.
Amazing. Yeah, gosh, I love that you brought in breathing. I haven't even like moved into the benefits of breathing, and breathing is a practice of gratitude too. I mean, do you ever think about it? Like, we don't even have to think about breathing when we sleep at night. So like zoning into like your body and being like, oh, body, thanks for breathing. Thanks for digesting. Thanks for doing all the things I don't have to manage for me. But yeah, zoning into breathing. And you said so many other wonderful things of connecting back in. And the final piece I just want to note that you mentioned just now was giving yourself a little grace for if things didn't work out in some way. And that's a skill. That's such a lovely skill to give to yourself, and also model to other people in your relationships, and to model to kids like, hey, we're human, we mess up sometimes. So yeah, appreciate you starting us off, Nicole. All right, what else do people notice?
I just love the idea that we can create those neural pathways and reroute those grooves that are so ingrained from experiences and bias and everything else. So being very intentional every day is a good thing for me on gratefulness. I try to practice it every morning before I even get out of bed.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Julia. Yeah, the science piece. This is our brain, and the brain is being mapped out all the time and researched, but noting that when we focus in on like the good stuff, we are creating neural pathways and we get to choose what we want to think about. We get to choose. And so, yeah, the morning, thanks for bringing that up too. Like the morning time is really such a powerful way to begin your day because then it's just a little easier. Yeah, thanks, Julia. What else do people notice?
This fits in really well with kind of what I've been doing with my coach. I have a wellness coach that's been helping me. And it's interesting because this week was like highlighting gratitude and in your intentions and setting those in the morning. And at my house, my boys and I, we practice their spelling words on my dryer with a dry erase marker because it's just in the middle of everywhere where we sit in the morning. So um, now we're practicing writing what we're grateful for every morning on the dryer as well with our spelling words. So
That's great.
but you see it every day, and as you walk by it, you still see it. So
Oh, cool. Yeah, so you get to see it like yeah, and they get to see it too.
yeah.
And yeah, there's research that shows too that anything that's in the brain that comes out through your arm, through your hand, either with writing or with making art, it helps solidify and deepen the thought within the system. And so writing practices are really powerful and art practices because it goes in a little bit deeper into our brain. And I love that it's on the dryer.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could do that with the dry eraser.
Oh yeah, it just wipes right off.
That's a great tool. Oh, so cool that you're instilling like a practice within the kids for the day. I'm noticing that Sarah wrote down, I have found a writing practice every day that's helpful, including in a practice that at least 3 things that delight me. For example, one of the things that delighted me yesterday was while I was driving into the office, I noticed how beautiful the mountains were with the snow on them. Nice. Thank you, Sarah. Thanks for sharing that. What else? What else do people notice that are things just from the training that might be a takeaway or an aha or just like, yeah, I know that. And it's going a little deeper. What else do people notice?
I liked the emotional wheel. I'd never seen that before. But I think it could really be helpful with trying to figure out like why you're feeling a certain way and kind of what's triggering that.
Totally. Yeah, thanks for noticing that, Kim. A lot of people think, oh, what emotions do we have? And most people just can come up with 5 emotions, but we are so multifaceted, and emotions tend to be they're the gateway for how you're moving through your day. And so noticing that when anxiety gets flared or a little bit of worry, that's the first level. But it can, if you stay in that, you can drop into frustration, move down into resentment, move down into anger, rage, and just go all the way down the gamut. And so counselors were trained in helping people move back up into a place that feels more stable. And so for people knowing like, oh, I notice that I tend to move into this emotion and where it is on the wheel can be helpful to just see, okay, well, there's something that I can kind of shift myself with some new thoughts. And we tend to notice that like it's hard to jump from like a thought that's really like if you're feeling really dysregulated to try to jump all the way over to like, I'm so amazing, I feel great. Like that's too tough. People can't do that. We can't just do these big jumps over to feeling amazing. And so noting that you can just take little steps and thoughts and sort of moving back into the middle, into the spectrum is helpful. Don't be hard on yourself if you ever feel like I'm just having a really tough day and I just really want to feel good and I just can't find that feeling good thing. It's really hard to do. But if you kind of make little incremental thought changes that feel like You know, what is ease? What is calm? What is soft? That can help us move on the emotional pathway to feeling just a little bit better. So thanks for bringing that up. That's something that teachers now are being trained in, and it's in the schools. And so you can definitely just Google an emotional feelings wheel right after this class. One will pop up and you can download it on your computer, print it off. Okay. All right. Anyone else? Got just one more minute or so. Hey, Todd.
Hey, something that resonated with me, I think, was the savoring of the past and the future. Things. I mean, if I'm having a bad day and I see some old pictures or little short videos of a good memory, that's great. I think the hardest one is the savoring in the present. And so I think through your talk, you know, I can kind of flag that and try harder on that. So thanks.
Ah, you're welcome. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. And it's so true. That's how it is for almost everyone. Being in the present moment and savoring what's happening in the now. Yeah, it's not really something that is activated or taught. It's not taught in our culture. It's not really taught in the schools. And so, but it's really where all your power is, and that's where your brain is all the time. It's in the present moment, and it's thinking about whatever you're thinking about. It feels like it's happening right now. And so that's why if you ever have a panic attack or anything like that, that tends to be that your rumination or your thought pattern is really focused on something that is dysregulating, that may happen or might have happened. And so noticing that you can get back into the present moment by focusing in on, you know, what are your five senses? What can you smell? What can you taste? What can you see? What can you hear? What can you touch? That's one like really great little tool into moving you back into the present moment if you're ever starting to move into feeling panic. And I just wanted to throw that tool out for anyone that might have someone in their life that if they give them a call and they're in a panic attack, just have them move into the senses and have them describe everything around them that's in the present moment, and help them get out of that ruminating thought so they are here and now. And I know that's not even what you were talking about, Todd, but I decided I'd slide it in there right at the end. Okay, anything else? Okay. Well, Desiree, I just want to thank you so much for helping me today with the presentation. I want to thank everyone for sharing. And I'm sorry I wasn't able to see on my end all the chats. I like they would pop up and I try to read them as fast as I could. So I'm going to go through them now and see what everyone said. But I appreciate you all for coming and for taking the time to tune in. This is self-care for yourself. So give yourself a pat on the back for taking some time for yourself. And if you have any questions, please email me, and you're welcome to also tune in and onto our website and find out all the resources we have for you for free. So thank you again. Appreciate you all. Have a great day.